update on what this planting looks like just a couple months later. I think this may be my favorite combination of plants maybe ever. Definitely my favorite one in this area that we planted thus far. So our first layer in the back is denim and lace Russian sage. The reason I love this one so much is that it stays smaller, more compact than your traditional Russian sage, which grows usually like 4 by 4. This one stays this size, like 2.5 by 2.5. It's much more dense. It has really great color, and like the blooms start really low on each branch, so you get a ton of color on each branch. And then when you take a step down, we've got Supertunia limoncello and the Dark Night Sweet Alyssum. And I think that this is one of the prettiest, most calming blends of color, that soft creamy yellow with that really pretty purple. And then we've got a row, of course, of the Sprinter boxwoods, which when we planted this area, I think it's been 3 years now, these boxwoods were like this big. I mean, they were tiny little things. I believe we have some pictures of when I planted, and the denim and lace was pretty small too. And they have grown so huge and so wonderfully. I haven't lost a single plant in this area, which is really good. I mean, given the amount of plants we have planted, like the amount of boxwoods, to not lose a single one. Because right after we planted those, we had the horrible winter with 52 inches of snow, and these all survived underneath there. So I'm really, really happy with that. Now, as far as irrigation goes, the first 2 years, this didn't have any irrigation other than a little bit of overspray from our grass sprinklers, which the denim and lace loved it because this one doesn't like a whole lot of irrigation. In fact, if it gets too much water or not enough sun, they tend to flop from the center. That may be a problem you've had with Russian sage in the past. So those are two of the reasons why most commonly that happens. And the Sprinters did well with that too. I mean, it was just a little bit of irrigation. I spot watered a little bit. So this last year we had drip run to this area. In fact, it's trenched underneath the ground and it comes up about right here. And we just have one row of the brown drip tubing that has holes every 18 inches that emit 1 gallon per hour of water. And we have that in between the annuals and the boxwoods so that the water stays away from the Russian sage. So all in all, this area is just beautiful and one of my favorites. Right beyond that, we've got the Supertunia Vista Paradise, which was a new one, I think this year, maybe last year. But the difference between your Supertunia and your Supertunia Vistas, you can clearly tell that the Vista series are really excellent for the landscape. They grow huge, they're vigorous, they can handle a lot more stressors. So this area has been a little bit interesting because of how we have to water it. Everything in the center here gets overhead irrigation because in order to keep this awkward shape of grass alive, we have to have sprinklers go over the whole thing. So things in the past that we've put in here haven't done super well, so we've kind of had to learn and tailor our choices based on the watering issue. And it gets a weird amount of light, so you can tell toward the back we do need to prune this up quite a bit. But toward the back it doesn't get as much light. This area gets sun in the afternoon while that stays a little bit shaded, yet they all look fairly similar. We still have a lot of color on them, and we have been watering both of these with water-soluble fertilizer, or fertilizing them once a week with water-soluble fertilizer. So they're still getting a lot of food, and I think that's one of the reasons why they're performing so well too. So anyway, the color on this, it's just like an electric tropical pink. In fact, when I take pictures with my camera, it almost appears red in the camera because it's so bright, which is perfect because we have a white house and it's kind of fun to have something that's very contrasted to the White House. There's a couple other annuals in this area I thought I would just show you just because we're up here. In this little area over here, I planted some meteor shower verbena just in some little groupings, and I just love it. So you'll see like the little groupings of purple that come up here and there. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groupings of meteor shower. I have delphiniums I just cut back right in this area, and then I'm working on filling in the center. But this is such a wonderful annual to pop in where you need height, which we have a taller boxwood hedge here, so we needed something that you could see over the top of that. And also this is a sterile. It doesn't throw seed like maybe the traditional verbena does, so it doesn't sprout up everywhere. So it stays contained where it's supposed to. And the last thing I want to show you are the containers we planted up here on a video actually earlier on. So I've got 2 of the Black Square Estate planters. These are both from Crescent Garden, and they're planted up exactly the same. And I've had these containers up here for a few years. I like the mix right now. I have a pine lollipop with a spider web in it. Get that out of there. Pine lollipop that's doing really well, and then super bells that are starting to really fill in beautifully. We've got a new one coming out next year. This is called Double Amber. I think that is just so pretty. We've got Miss Lilac, we've got Holy Smokes, and we've got Grape Punch. It's just a very light, soft blend of flowers, and I think it's pretty. So let's head to the west side of the house, and we want to show you the Supertunia Vista Snowdrift we planted in the ground. Okay, so I didn't plant these Supertunia Vista Snowdrift in a video. In fact, I came home and planted these right after we got through planting up the same thing in my parents' containers along their driveway, which we'll update you on here in a second. But I planted 6 of the snowdrifts around each one of the Red Point maples inside each one of the boxwood swoops, and I think it's absolutely beautiful, the white with the green. And I only wanted to plant 6 of each one of these plants because they're supposed to grow so big. Like, I think the tag says they'll grow 2 feet tall to 4 feet wide each. So I thought, well, I can't really put 20 plants in here because that'll be too much. And you can tell, like, the first 5 or the front 5 here are starting to intermingle and touch with each other. But it's odd. I do notice that the ground slopes here, but each one of the ones that are on kind of the back side of the maple trunk, they're all smaller than the other 5. So it could be a water issue, and the fact that it slopes, I'm not really sure. So I'm gonna have to do some digging around in there and figure out what's going on. But overall, I'm really happy with the way they all look. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. And you can just see the white peeking up there, and it mirrors the white super bells in our urns really well. So now we want to go out and show you the containers at my parents' house. All right, guys, so check these out. I planted 8 Supertunia Vista Snowdrift in each one of these containers, and they have gone absolutely nuts. In fact, for a while there, we were a little bit nervous for this grass because we thought the Supertunias were just going to engulf it. It took the grass a while to take off this year because it took us a while to get consistently hot, which we are now. You can tell we're right in the sun right now at this point, but you can see how much these grow up. I mean, the edge of the container is right here. So these plants have put on a lot of height, and they're just now starting to kind of spill over the side. So I'm really looking forward to seeing throughout the rest of the season how they do and if they actually meet the ground, which I'm thinking they probably will. But I think this is such a striking arrangement right here, just using this one Supertunia Vista and the grass. It looks really good up against this black rail fence. And then, I mean, when you look down this alley, this lane here, I mean, it's just such a striking effect. And they've been really enjoying it. They've been giving us reports like about how they've been, you know, we left them with some fertilizer